Hey guys, it's me Ray with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Lamelo Ball to the Minnesota Timberwolves. First off, we're going to start with the Hornets side. I was really surprised at this trade when I first seen it. I heard Lamelo was in trade talks, but I couldn't believe they would trade him after the season he had, bringing them close to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. With Concanepa, with Brandon Miller, with Miles Bridges, with Musa Diabate, and they had one of the best offenses in the league this season, and they went on a crazy run, especially in the second half of the season where they had a generational half-court offense led by Lamelo Ball, who was one of the best passers and playmakers in the NBA, who had his first healthy season in 2 years, along with Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges in them, adding Concanepa, who was a second to Rookie of the Year, who's a great shooter, great off-ball player, and he's going to be one of the better players in this league for years to come. And Musa Diabate, a good big. Colin Sexton was good earlier in the year, but then when they traded for Kobe White, they got way better. Kobe White is a great point guard. He's a starting point guard on some NBA teams, and he was good off the bench, especially since he's a starting point guard. He's a good scorer. He's a good passer and playmaker. He's just a good player. The Hornets had the 5th best offense in the NBA. Lamelo Ball was averaging 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. This was a good season for him, even though the stats wouldn't really show this is one of the best seasons. Me personally, I thought this trade wasn't a good trade to me, I feel like, because what he did this season along with the rest of the team, and this is their first healthy season, most of the team, in a couple years, and they just added Concanepa to their team. So me personally, I thought I believe the Hornets should have traded Lamelo a couple years ago when he was barely playing, but now I feel like they just waited for his value to higher so they could get better offers for Lamelo. They got Nas Reed, great six man. They got a couple picks. I just believe they shouldn't have traded Lamelo. He led the offense to the 5th offense in the league with the pace he plays as a great playmaker and passer with the downhill presence that he creates. Now they lose their best player, their starting point guard, and now most of their guys are going to have to create for themselves, which I'm not saying they can't, but most of their points was from Lamelo creating their own shots for them, especially Brandon Miller cutting to the rim, lob threat, Miles Bridges lob threat, Concanepa coming off ball, him swinging the Concanepa, and then Musa Diabate, the lobs that he would give him, or the bounce passes, all that. But now they got Kobe White starting, and I don't know what they're going to do from now on. They got Chris Anderson Jr. in the draft, who's a point guard who may for the future be a building piece for the franchise. So now I'm going to go to the Timberwolves. Bro, this is going to be one of the most exciting backcourts in the NBA. You got Anthony Edwards, a top 10 player in the league, and you got Lamelo Ball, a top 20 to 25 player in the league. You know Anthony Edwards, his demeanor, the way he talks. And same with Lamelo Ball, they out of pocket. But it's going to be really exciting. Anthony Edwards going to have the chance to play off ball more, along with Jaden McDaniels. Anthony Edwards going to get better looks. He won't be getting doubled as much. Even if he gets doubled, you can give it to Lamelo. Lamelo's a good three-point shooter. He can shoot it from the low. He can shoot it from anywhere on the court. Or even if Lamelo doesn't shoot it, you give it to Lamelo. Lamelo gets downhill, creates rim pressure, kick it out to Jaden McDaniels, kick it out to that power forward that they need potentially. That could be John Collins. I feel like they should get John Collins, who's really athletic. He's floor spacer. He's not a shooter, but he can space the floor, and he's not bad defensively. He's okay, but he's just really athletic. He'll be a great lob threat to Melo. He has great size on him. Pause. The Minnesota Timberwolves, who were 12th in offense. In offense without a real point guard, actually gets one of the best point guards in the NBA, Lamelo Ball. Think about what that offense would be in. I think their defense with Rudy Gobert is one of the best defenders in the NBA. Jaden McDaniels, a solid two-way player, and Anthony Edwards, who's a solid defender, would be good, and especially if they get John Collins at that power forward position. I do think the Hornets really had injury concerns of Lamelo Ball, which is why they mostly traded him, because he played about 28 minutes a game because they had injury concerns. I do think the Wolves won this trade, especially if Lamelo Ball doesn't get hurt. And they got a good bench. They got Terrence Shannon Jr., who we seen in the playoffs. He's a great transition player. He's good at getting downhill and make some open shots. Ayo Dosunmu, who's going to be a great six man who plays with fast pace. He's a good shooter. He's a good passer and playmaker. He's just a good player off the bench. LaMelo Ball goes to a losing franchise, no offense to the Charlotte Hornets, to a winning franchise ever since Anthony Edwards been here, going to deep playoff runs, and now LaMelo Ball is finally going to get a chance to go to the playoffs for the first time in his career. I do have concerns with LaMelo Ball facing against playoff defenses. I think he struggles against physical defenses, and I think this will be good for LaMelo Ball going to the Wolves, especially because he will look better. I think he'll average like 18, 10 assists. His field goal percentage will go up because we've seen in Charlotte he was taking really bad shots, but now with him being more of a facilitator role, since he's not the best player on the team anymore, he's not the best scorer on the team anymore, I think he will be more of a passer and playmaker than he was in Charlotte. He'll probably, like what I said, 18 points or 19 points, maybe even 20 points to 10 assists a game. I do think he'll make Rudy's life easier though, even though Rudy can't catch the basketball to save his life. I do think Rudy will become a better lob there because Rudy was complaining that he wasn't getting the ball. I do think if this Minnesota Timberwolves team get a real power forward, they're automatically contenders. Like, I do think that they're still a great team. They're still going to compete in the West with LaMelo Ball, obviously. They're going to be a better team than last year, probably. Losing Julius Randle doesn't really, it hurts, obviously, but I do think he was a ball stopper. He wasn't that good of a passer or playmaker, and he's not really a floor spacer that LaMelo is. If they get a power forward, like what I said, they're going to be way better. They might be in contention of being the second best team in the NBA. I think they'd probably be better than the Spurs. I don't think they're going to be better than OKC because OKC is just way more deeper. Melo Ball as an initiator, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, whoever that power forward may be, and Io, and all of them off the bench, we're going to be way better off-ball players than they were before. They won't have that to create their own shot now with LaMelo Ball on the team. If you guys are watching this, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.